Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Explore the Path to Coaching Success webinar. I'm thrilled to have you all with us today. I know that people are just getting started and jumping on. My name is Sharon Jacobson, and I will be one of the people that will be speaking to you today. Just to set the stage for the webinar, this is Explore the Path to Coaching Success. And the Coactive Training Institute is going to give you a couple of things today. We're going to give you some guidance into what coactive coaching is all about. You're going to actually see coactive come alive, which is amazing. And you're also going to learn details about the program, which I'm excited to be able to share. So I'm going to give it a few more moments as people are busy getting settled. And then we'll get ready and introduce our team to all of you. In the meantime, something I love to ask is, where are you all calling in from in the world? I am here in Westport, Connecticut in the United States. It is a gloomy mid of the week. Where are you calling in from? Wow, France, right off the bat. Welcome, Toronto. Welcome, Austin. Good to have you all with us today. I hope you're experiencing better weather than I am. San Francisco's with us, Albany, New York. This is great. Keep it coming. I love to see who's on the call. I'm going to give it a few more seconds. It looks like we might have a few more people jumping on and joining, and then I'm going to get us started. All right, just to give you all a little preview on where you are, this is Explore the Path to Coaching Success. It is a Coactive Training Institute webinar. My name is Sharon Jacobson. I'm thrilled to be with all of you. As I mentioned, I'm here in Westport, Connecticut. I am a member of the sales team. I can't believe I'll be here 5 years in a month. It happened in a minute. And I'm also a certified coach. So what I'd love to do now is introduce my backup support. I call her the leader from behind, Mercedes Klein. And Mercedes will be doing a couple of things today. She'll be speaking to all of you and sharing links. That the links and information will be coming in the chat, and in the Q&A, Mercedes will be answering questions in the moment. What I do ask is, we have a really full webinar. I'm sure many things will be discussed throughout, so give us some time to answer some questions. But without further ado, what I'd love to do is introduce our phenomenal coaches that are with us today and facilitators. I'd like to introduce both Hope Langner and Alex Verlick, so they can tell you a little bit about themselves.
Okay. Thanks, Sharon. Hi, everyone. My name is Hope Langner. I'm calling from Albany, New York, and I'm faculty on CTI, and I've been with CTI as a faculty member since the late 90s, which I cannot believe. And I've been coaching for about 30 years now, which I also cannot believe. I feel way too young to have been coaching that long, but I love this work. And I find even after all this time working with the coactive model still feels fresh and new, which I think is amazing. So I'm really happy to be here with all of you.
My name is Alex Verlek. I am Dutch, living in France. So I was the one from France. And compared to Hope, I'm the new kid on the block. I've only coached for 2 decades and CTI faculty since 2011. So it's just 15 years. And what I love about this job is the first time in my life that I have a job that I don't feel like retiring from. Each day I learn new stuff. Each day I meet new people. Each day there is new stuff to be discovered. So and I'm curious what we're going to discover here today together.
Mhm.
Thanks, Hope and Alex. That's great. Just a few more housekeeping things. I mentioned that Mercedes is going to be sharing live links in the chat, also answering questions in the Q&A as they come up for you as we go through. I also wanted to mention we're going to be recording the webinar today. I know a lot of folks have been very interested in hearing Coactive happen live, so you'll be able to see a recording. And also closed captioning. If you want to shut that off, Mercedes will share instructions on how to do that as well in the chat. So without further ado, I'm going to get us started. And before I go to this link, I would love to share a poll. And the poll really helps us design and find out more about all of you and what you're looking for from today's webinar. So the question that I'd like to ask is, what is the primary reason you're here today? Are you exploring a career change and coaching might be something you're interested in learning more about? Do you want to become a professional coach? Are you interested in becoming a better leader? Do you want to add more professional skills and abilities to your current skill set? And lastly, is your company interested in you learning more about coaching? I'd love to see where you are at and learn more from all of you so that we can design our time together to really give you what you need today. I'm going to wait a few more seconds. People are still busy answering. This gives us a pretty good idea. I'm going to end the poll and share the results. 54% of you are really interested in becoming a professional coach. And this is the time of year I think many people are really researching and looking at programs. So we're thrilled you're here today. So as you know, coaching is a growing industry. Coaching is projected to exceed more than $10 billion by 2035. The personal life coaching segment is projected to surpass 10 billion. You see things growing and expanding. Also, specialty segments are looking to increase by double-digit gains. Specialty segments such as health, wellness, relationship, financial coaching, these are all anticipated to grow even faster, with some segments seeing double-digit year-over-year growth rates. Incredible. Also, 30% of Fortune 500 companies are coming to coaching. And as a sales advisor here at Coactive, I see this all the time. People are really, really interested in using their coaching either within an organization or pivoting and taking coaching into their own private or personal coaching, either pivoting totally or doing it on the side. So executive coaching is becoming more and more important. You may have seen that the Coactive Training Institute is considered the gold standard of coaching. And so many folks are coming to us. We've trained nearly 200,000 people worldwide. I also like to say that we have 275 coaches around the world, and we are just attracting a global population of students that are coming to us to learn more about coaching. Before I go any further, what I'd love to do is I'd love to call Hope and Alex back so they can speak a little bit about what they're going to be doing very shortly, which is a live coaching demo. So I'm going to stop sharing so you all can take it away.
Okay, thanks. So first things first, I guess Alex and I are co-leaders of this part of the program, and we don't have a script. We have goals to accomplish in this work that we're doing together, but we'll be speaking at, sometimes we might speak at the same time. We haven't said you do X and I'll do Y, except one of us will coach and one of us will debrief the coaching. But other than that, you'll hear us together creating the learning that is here for all of us to create. Alex, do you want to jump in here or shall I keep going?
Yeah, keep going, please.
Okay. I know that we have asked for a volunteer to be coached. So if you're interested in being coached, if you would just put a note in the chat, that would be great. And what we want you to know as a volunteer is that we're recording this session and it's probably going to be placed on YouTube in the future. So it's not going to be a confidential session. Most of the time when we do coaching, we hold a really sacred agreement of confidentiality so that we never share the person we're coaching or what their coaching was about. But in this situation, it's a little bit unique because this is a public webinar. And so if you do agree to be coached, other people will see you and see the coaching. So I want you to be aware of that. Let's see what else. And we'll ask you, if you do agree to be coached, to bring a real topic, something that is true for you in this moment, is what we would like to start with, because having a real topic that's true for you makes the coaching really work. It's not a role play, it's a real coaching.
Yeah, and also for you, you'll get most out of it if there is a topic that is meaningful to you. So you will get most out of the coaching when you have something that is meaningful to you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's see, anything else that we need to cover here? I think that's pretty much where we are.
I think that's it. Hope we'll do the coaching today, and I will lead the debrief afterwards, where we look at what skills were used, what energy was visible in the coaching, so that we co-create learning from the coaching experience that you've just observed.
Right. And so, Mercedes, we're getting ready to start. If you have somebody who's available to be coached, let us know and we can set that up.
I haven't had any volunteers yet, so would love to have some folks raise their hands or, okay, now we're getting some. Wonderful. Thank you.
Okay, great. Okay.
So,
all right, so
offering.
Jessica, yeah, it looks like you are the person. Would you, so if you're willing, Mercedes, could you set it up so Jessica can join us? And then Alex will go off camera and we'll get started.
And for transparency, Hope, do you want a time signal from me?
Yeah, if you just let me know when we've gone 10 minutes, Alex, that would be great. And then we'll start moving toward wrapping it up.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will quickly turn back on the camera then, and as a cue.
Yeah, and I'll just, that's great. Right. Thank you. Yeah.
I'll disappear from the screen.
Okay, thank you. And Jessica, thanks so much for volunteering. So just want to let everyone know we've never met before, and I have no idea what you're going to talk about. So we're really starting fresh and clear. Is there anything that you'd like to design with me or make an agreement about before we jump in? Anything that would be really helpful for you?
I just hope that anyone watching would not be judgmental and that they'll be gracious that I'm just a mom doing my best here.
That sounds great. So yeah, and I see some hearts coming up the screen for you. So
Yeah.
the people watching here are with you. So thank you so much for being willing and for being willing to be vulnerable. So what would you like to talk about?
I have a 10 and a half year old daughter who's very mature and articulate, and I've been noticing a pattern lately that's a little bit concerning, and I'm not sure how to best approach it. I haven't done any research yet on how to do it. I'm just, when the invitation was offered for coaching, this is what was on my heart, and
Yeah.
so she has been maybe, I don't know if it's embellishing stories or just outright telling things that aren't true. I don't know. But
Yeah.
she likes to be in the know and likes to be the one to share things. And I wonder if sometimes she's got fictitious ideas in her head that she wants to share. And I want to get
Yeah.
on top of that because that's concerning to me as a mom. And I also need to disclose that I'm a parent coach. So it's a little embarrassing, a little vulnerable to share
Oh,
this, but
yeah.
these are the realities of our kids presenting us with new challenges as they grow and evolve into the people they are.
Yes.
So that's my story.
Wow. Okay. So, yeah, so you're a parent coach and you're concerned about your daughter and not sure how to
Yeah.
address it. And yeah, what a challenging spot to be in.
Mm.
I really hear that. And I also hear the caring and the heart you have for your daughter and wanting her to be growing in a beautiful way. I can really hear that come through as well.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So what's the sort of the vision you have of how this could unfold in a good way?
I would love to be able to have a conversation with her about reality and
Yeah.
ensuring that, when she is sharing stuff, that it comes from a place of truth and that I want her to know that I would be bringing this up from a place of love and care and concern, and that I just wouldn't want her to fall into a bad habit and have people not trust what she says.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah. So it sounds like you have a pretty clear idea of the kind of conversation you want to have. And
Mhm.
what is keeping you from doing that?
Good question. Concerned that it'll be misinterpreted or that she'll feel judged or blamed. And
Yeah.
and I've noticed that when she feels that way, um, nothing productive tends to happen. So
Yeah.
I haven't yet figured out how do I approach this in a way so she can save face and really just be
Mm.
open and honest. So that's kind of why I've been sitting with this for the last few days, not yet approaching it because I need to identify a way that feels right for me that I think will feel safe for her.
Yeah. So it sounds like, yeah, creating that sense of safety with her seems like the really important piece here. Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, and I have this sense like what is it for you to trust yourself to be able to do that?
What is it for me to trust myself to do it?
Yeah. To be able to speak to her in a way that creates that sense of safety and love that communicates that.
Yeah, I've got to find the words and know that it comes from I want to make sure that when I'm approaching it with her, that it's not coming from a place of I know it and I'm judging her, right?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
want her to know that it comes from I don't know and I'm willing to be wrong. And
Yeah.
and I just want to check in that she's being mindful of the stories that she's telling.
Yeah. So, yeah, and I noticed a lot of expression changes in your face just now. Like you were smiling when you started, and then you were like
Yeah.
looking kind of curious or
Yeah.
uncertain, maybe. What are you noticing? What's happening for you?
I think I do have the answer within me somewhere. I just haven't sat with it long enough to fully
Yeah,
express it or feel confident in it. And
yeah,
yeah, I just, my relationship and connection with her is just really, really important to me. So
yeah,
um yeah.
yeah. So what do you know right now that you haven't expressed yet?
Um, what do I know?
Yeah, you said, I think I know the answer. I have the answer in me.
Yeah,
Yeah, what
yeah,
like you're willing to just play with it, even if the words don't make
yeah.
sense just yet? Just see
Right, yeah.
what's here.
Um, that I'll probably journal it a little bit before I have the conversation with her so that the
Yeah,
words are clearer at that point. But right now it's um I think she just wants to she's figuring out who she is and how she
yeah,
wants to be in relationships and how she wants to be perceived. And as she's, becoming a tween, she's becoming more interested and aware of how others are perceiving her and how she's presenting herself. And so I think that she's playing with these things and
hmm,
trying different things on for size to see how they fit and what feels good and what gets her the
yeah,
attention or recognition that she might be looking for.
yeah. And from your heart, what do you want her to know
That she's a
about
good
you? Yeah,
person, that
yeah, yeah,
she's growing and playing and just figuring it out, and there's no right or wrong. Like when you're young is the time to experiment and figure it out. And sometimes the earlier we figure out who we are and what's important to us, sometimes that makes life a little bit easier for us in the long run.
yeah. So it really sounds like you do have a pretty good sense of what you want her to know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, and then what's the relationship you want to create with her for yourself so that you feel connected and trusted and safe in that space?
Well, that's just it. Connected and trusted and safe. I want her to know that she can share anything and she's not going to be in trouble with me. We're just going to figure it out together. And I'm going to be that person who's in her back corner that will be cheering
Yeah,
her on and
yeah,
supporting her in whatever it is that she decides is important to her.
yeah. Wow, she's so lucky to have a mom like you in her
Mm,
corner.
that's so kind of you. Thank
Really.
you.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it just is so clear. Like your love for her is so clear.
Mm,
And even the fact that you'd be sitting with this as a question says so much about how much she matters to you and how much your support of her matters. Yeah,
mm.
yeah. And what else is here for you right now?
Well, gratitude for being able to sift through this, which was sitting on my heart,
Yeah,
and appreciate the clarity that has come forward, and your willingness to reflect back to me what you're seeing and hearing, and that I'm doing okay, I think.
yeah.
Yeah.
What are you learning about yourself right now?
Um, that I can trust myself to find the right words
Mm,
and I know that it's really about putting the relationship first and centering that around trust and safety that will help bring the truth forward, I think.
yeah, yeah. That seems really very clear. And again, just see the beauty that you are
Mm,
in what you're creating here. Um,
thank you.
so yeah, it really feels so clear that you're able to trust yourself, that it's almost like you needed to reconnect with that part of you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anything else before we wrap up together?
Just gratitude. Thank you.
Yeah,
I think
gratitude
she'll feel
here
good when
too.
we have the conversation. Yeah.
Yeah. I think as you bring your whole self to it and what you're really wanting to create, I think you're both going to have a closer relationship. It feels like that's what you're really doing, is building more layers into that as she grows up. So yeah. Thank you so
Thank you.
much,
Thanks, Hope.
Jessica, for being willing. Yeah, absolutely.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, you bet. So we'll invite Alex to come back. And again, huge gratitude to you for being willing and being so vulnerable and open.
Thank you.
So thank you.
Do you want me
You
to go
bet.
off camera or now?
Yeah,
do
you
want me
can
to stay
if
up?
if you're willing to go off, that's fine. And then Alex and I are going to debrief what we did in the coaching, and feel free to chime in if there's anything that you see that you want to add. Okay.
Wow. Jessica and Hope, thank you for allowing us to witness in like less than 12 minutes such a powerful example of how coaching can work and feel. And what I would like to do is talk us through what I saw as skills and how you showed up as a coach. And one of the things that you model beautifully is that you are not here to fix a problem for Jessica. You held a curious, warm, loving, respectful place where you trusted that she would find her own answer with this beautiful topic straight from her heart. And that for me was a beautiful example of how coaching is different from consultancy, for instance, where we want to listen to analyze a problem and come up with a solution. Here, you are beautifully curious. What matters for Jessica, for your client? And if I look at the conversation from a meta view, there was a clear buildup in it. In the beginning, you designed what we call in coactive coaching, designed the alliance. You spoke about what was needed for Jessica to feel safe in this partnership. And that is such an essential pillar under coaching, that we design a clear relationship. And then you asked about the topic. From there was a big part where you started exploring the topic. And towards the end, you asked, hey, what are you learning? And what wants to follow from here? So there was a clear beginning, a big part where you explored together, and then wrapping it up, sending Jessica off in life with more confidence and belief in herself than 12 minutes ago.
Yeah. I just want to add one thing, because sometimes this happens where somebody comes in for coaching and they talk about another person who's not there. And it's so important, like it's so easy to get drawn into, well, what's going on with that other person? And, how do you feel about that? And that isn't really the issue. The issue is really what's going on in here with the person who brought it to you as a topic. And that's where we focus as coaches. So I just wanted to underline that.
And there was a beautiful moment here. At some point, Jessica was speaking more about her daughter, and then you brought it back to her by asking, I wrote it down, what is your heart saying now?
Yeah.
And that's another thing that I appreciated in this coaching, that it was not only like logic and reason coming from the head. This is a heart topic. This is, there is a beautiful emotion in it, and you got curious about that as well. So not only logic and what are the logical next steps. No, you focused on multiple parts of Jessica, not just the brain.
Yeah, absolutely.
And another thing that stood out for me, at some point you shared your intuition.
Mm-hmm.
And you said, I have a sense that was also about trusting yourself.
Yeah.
And in coactive coaching, we trust our intuition as an offering for our clients. It's not about being right or being super smart or anything. Now we have that gut feeling, which we
Mm-hmm.
call
Yeah.
intuition, and you call it a sense, and you offered it to Jessica. And then just leaning back again, you asked, hey, what's there for you now?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
intuition as a really rich come from in coactive coaching.
Yeah, absolutely. I could add one other piece that I noticed, and I can't remember the exact thing Jessica was talking about then, but I noticed this range of expression go across her face. She started with a smile and she
Yeah,
ended in a place where she seemed like, and
yeah,
um, it's so important. Sometimes that's another place we go that's not in the head. We're picking up different cues from how the person is using their body or their facial expression. And in this situation, it was really powerful because I said, well, I noticed all this change in expression happening in so many. And that had her say, oh, I think I know what I need to do. And that was the moment where like it started to come together, at least from where I was sitting, to say, oh, you know what you need. So like, let's name that now so that you can walk away with some more clarity for yourself.
and that
Yeah.
was a beautiful example of you giving words to what you saw and what you heard
Mm-hmm.
and what you sensed. But when it is about us, when we are the client,
Yeah.
we're not aware of that. So we need the coach to
Yeah.
articulate that back to us. Hey, I see this. This is happening on your face. And then
Yeah.
get curious about it, like, what are you aware of?
Right. Right. Exactly. Yeah.
And another thing that I want to underline is how many great questions you've been asking. In our jargon, we call that powerful questions, like
Mm,
very open questions, like curious, like almost childlike curious, asking a question and then see
yeah.
what comes up for the client. Um,
Yes.
uh, what else is here for you now? Was one of these questions, and then you're clueless what's going to come from there.
Right. It's true.
You so beautifully model that you didn't have a plan with your questions. You weren't working from A to B to C, etc. No,
Right.
the questions are opening up new layers for the client, and you just dance with it, whatever came up.
Yeah. And that's really how we create questions as coactive coaches. It comes directly from what the client is saying or what they're expressing in whatever way they're expressing it, with words or with movement or with expression. And our job is to really just stay in a curious place and help them recognize what's going on for themselves in a more detailed way than they had been. So lots of times we'll have an idea in our heads just as human beings, and something will cross our face as we have that idea, but we may not write it down or we may not lock it in somewhere. And just being able to stop for a moment and say, well, what was that? Oh, that. It helps us lock in what new ideas are coming through. And so for the coach to be able to ask questions or name what they're noticing really helps our client become more aware of their own experience, their own process.
Yeah. And what I also noticed that when you ask the question, this is where you're actively present. And after you ask the question, it's almost as if you lean back, giving the
Huh.
floor to the client,
Yeah.
like, hey, Jessica, what do you want to create from here? What is the
Mm-hmm.
new layer that you want to peel off, and what's the new insight that wants to come out of this?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
with that, you also beautifully model that the coach isn't doing all the talking. It is
Right.
like, it's about giving the client the space to express themselves and through that explore themselves. Almost like
Yeah.
finding a new or creating a new page to their own manual to self.
That's such a great metaphor. Yes. A new page to the manual of self. I love that. But that's exactly what we're doing, is really like every time we coach, that's what happens. Something new emerges for our clients, and it's their life. They're writing their life story as we speak. We're not doing it for them. We're just like shining light on what is going on so they can make sense of it for themselves.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And another thing that I want to underline is you are also coaching from your heart, and you gave yourself the permission to really connect with Jessica heart to heart. And at some point you said something so beautiful, that Jessica's daughter, she is lucky to have you as a mom uh, beside her, and to have you like a mom like you in your corner. That's what you said.
Yeah.
And that was such a beautiful acknowledgement, where you give yourself permission to speak from your heart to her heart. Like, Jessica, I see
Yeah.
you are a beautiful mom, and you care, you love.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. It was really a gift to be able to do that coaching.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, Anything else? Maybe, I don't know if there are questions here.
Yeah. I wonder.
Thank you, Jessica. And Jessica, is there anything from your end that stood out for you, that worked for you, that you want to underline maybe? Or other questions from those who observed?
Yeah.
Let me read what Jessica wrote here. I felt really safe and held. Loved how open Hope's questions were.
Yeah.
Safety is such an essential element in coaching. Without the safety,
Yeah.
without the trust, like, come on, it won't happen. And
Absolutely.
Jessica's also underlining the power, the impact of the questions. When they are open, they open up. When we ask yes, no questions, we're going to check facts.
Yeah. So
And
a lot of us coming from other professions like consulting or attorneys, where you don't ask a question you don't know the answer to, there's some unlearning that happens for coaches in training, where you're asking powerful questions, or the questions you don't know the answer to, and your client doesn't have an easy answer. It's more that they have to start looking inside in a different way.
And that is actually beautifully building on what Paul shared in the chat. Great coaching the person, not the problem.
Yeah.
We believe that the answer, the way forward, already lives in the person who also has the question. Both question and answer live in the same person. And for that, all we need to do is take that person on a journey of exploration and focus on the individual, the client, and not on the problem. The client will find an answer, a way forward with the problem, the situation that they're struggling with.
Absolutely. Yeah. And then I see Jessica also said, as a coach, I knew the info was inside me. Hope helped me identify it. I don't know what was blocking it, but I feel the clarity to move forward now. Thank you. And yeah, thank you, Jessica, also for sharing, and for also sharing this piece. And yeah, so we don't need to necessarily know what is blocking it. And sometimes that's a way to get in a little deeper into the issue. But it's the main thing is the clarity to move forward. And that's really what we started with, is how to go forward. Yeah.
A question from Harry. I understand the need to build trust and help the person get to an answer, but what if they don't have no idea of a solution? How can this process help them? I love that question
It's a
because,
very good question. Yeah.
and sometimes in a coaching session, we don't find the answer or we don't find the solution in that session itself. And what we then often do as a coach is to give a reflection question as homework for the client to keep processing the question, to keep processing, because sometimes it takes more time than the coaching session is. And it may sound a bit strange to say, but we believe that most of the coaching actually happens in between the sessions and not so much in the session itself. In the session itself, we give the ball a little push. We look here, we poke a little bit there, just to start stirring up things in a positive way, to make the client more curious about themselves. And you could call it homework or reflection work afterwards, helps them to continue their process. And sometimes the answer comes in the session, and sometimes a day after or a week after.
Yeah.
Trust the ripple effect of coaching.
Yeah. And, sometimes what happens is the person will get a different idea about how they're approaching the situation. And that may be what they need to sit with for a while. But one of our esteemed colleagues who named Jim Patterson, who unfortunately passed away way too young, about 10 years ago now. There's a quote of his that many of us still lean into, which is, we don't coach for a problem to be solved, we coach for a life to be lived. And so we're always focusing on the person and growing their ability to live their life more and more fully as they learn more about themselves and what works for them, what doesn't work for them. And the problems that they have, as you grow your ability to deal with whatever comes your way, the problems tend to become less of the focus, and it's more about focusing on the life that you're wanting to create for yourself. Yeah.
I don't know how much time we have left in our debrief.
I see one more question here about the support Coactive offers between sessions to answer the reflection. So I'm thinking just to wrap that piece, we could say a little about that.
Well, there is a coach-client relationship. And in general, it is not a one-off session as you've seen today. It's a series of sessions where you partner up for several months or sometimes even longer. And the continuum of the coaching relationship is part of that support. And sometimes the coach and the client design that the client is sharing something about what they're discovering in between the sessions with the coach as a form of accountability. And it really depends on the coach and the client how much communication they choose to have in between the sessions. But there is always a follow-up in the next session. Like, what have you been discovering in between this and the previous time we spoke?
Right.
There is an ongoing learning built in to the coaching relationship that we have with our clients.
Absolutely. Okay, so Sharon, shall we turn it back over to you at this point?
I think you may have one other question there at the very bottom. And then
During coaching sessions, does the coach mainly ask open questions and listen and playback? Do you also offer suggestions or ideas to the client?
Well, it's a good question. And it's an interesting way to look. We don't solve problems for our clients, but we might offer suggestions like asking them a question that they could actually say yes or no, or give us a counter offer. So maybe it's like, would you be willing to journal about this for yourself for the next 2 weeks? So that might be a suggestion, but we wouldn't give a suggestion about what to do for someone. Generally, it's really got to come from them. We can do brainstorming together to offer, ideas, like where we throw out some ideas and our client throws out some ideas, and then they decide what they want to follow. We don't do that for them. That would be more consulting if we were going to give them suggestions. But we do offer intuition, and we do offer requests where they can say yes or no, or shape it the way it works for them. Yeah.
All right.
All
Well,
right.
I think
Yeah.
with that, our time is up. So
Go ahead.
Sharon, back to you.
Sharon, come back with more details about what's next for those of you who would like.
Okay. I am back. Can you hear me okay?
Mm-hmm.
Terrific.
Mike.
All righty. So I know that there are some questions about ICF. Great news. I'll be going there very shortly. But before that, I'm going to talk a little bit about our program. So here are a few testimonials that felt really powerful. What graduates of Coactive are saying. So one of the ones I love here is through CTI, I went from wanting to be a coach to being a trained and certified Coactive coach. So really moving to that thing that really is powerful for you and you're passionate about. Another one, the CTI Fundamentals course, was the thing I needed to affirm that I am made to be a coach. And Ryan had to say that. And I just want to take a moment to say thank you to Hope and Alex for today. So for many of us who want to see Coactive live and really see what happens in a Coactive session, a big thank you to both of them and also to Jessica for being so courageous today. Thank you all. So I'd like to talk a little bit about our learning pathway. There are 3 stages. Stages 1 and 2 are the learning stages, and stage 3 is the 6-month certification. One thing I want to note is it is an adult learning program and quite flexible. And what I mean by that is although you need to take the stages in the correct order, you can take courses in 4 time zones. Online, we're available in Eastern and Pacific in the US, as well as Asia and Europe. We also have courses during the week, on the weekend. Our most popular on the weekend, which would be a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But there's also flexibility for those folks who really want to do part day learning. And so maybe they take the course in 4 or 5 days versus in a more compact schedule. So there's a lot of flexibility there. Also, the other thing I'm so proud to mention is we're also offering 0% financing installment plans through our internal billing team through Stripe. So if you're interested in starting the program, you have the flexibility to pay in invoices every 30 days. And depending on the stage of the program, there are different installment plans that are available. But Mercedes, as well as myself and the sales advisors, would be really super happy to help you learn more about that if you're interested. So fundamentals is stage 1. I like to call it the foundation to the program. You'll be learning 2 big things. The first is you'll be coaching in that very first session. Someone will be the coach, the client, and the observer, and you'll be learning, practicing, so that from the very first course forward, by the time you complete the training, you should be able to coach anyone in any specialty or niche. If fundamentals was a good course for you and you loved it, you can certainly move to stage 2. But what I want to offer here is for those of you who are researching programs and considering Coactive, we do offer a money-back guarantee. And that money-back guarantee is after the first course. If you feel that it is not aligning with your values, leadership principles, or it's just not the right fit for you, we are able as sales advisors to offer a full money-back guarantee. Coactive doesn't want anybody going through the program unless it's the right fit. If it is the right fit, You'd be moving on to stage 2, which are the intermediate courses. There are 4 of them: fulfillment, balance, process, and synergy. When you complete stage 2, you would have completed all of the learning in the program. That's 104 hours of learning. You then have the opportunity to become a certified coach, and that would happen in stage 3. Stage 3 is a 25-week, 6-month program. And this is really where you take all of that learning from stages 1 and 2 and really have the opportunity to advance your skill set as a coach. Following stage 3, you would become a CPCC, a certified professional coactive coach. Why choose certified professional coactive coach at Coactive? So why become a CPCC? And part of that is a direct reflection on Jessica's question about ICF. So not only is our program rigorous, I mentioned we're the gold standard of coaching. We've been around for 33 years, but we align with the International Coaching Federation. If you complete all 3 stages of the program, you not only become a certified professional coactive coach, but you have the ability to take that certificate to the ICF and get their opening accreditation, which is the level 1 ACC. You would have all you need to move directly to get that second accreditation. The one thing you would need to do is take an ethics quiz, which is a mandatory component from ICF, but very, very important. There are 2 pathways to consider. So I just mentioned when you complete our program, you have enough to become that level 1 ACC. If you've already been coaching or you're ready to go to level 2, you have everything you need in learning and mentor hours, but in coaching hours at the end of our program, you only have 100. You would need 400 more to get to the PCC level. We could dive more deeply as sales advisors and have a call, a Zoom call or a phone call with you to talk in more detail. But our program does allow you to go to either the ACC or PCC pathway. And of course, completing a certification program will bring a certain level of coaching mastery and confidence and allow you to be a global coach with a program like Coactive. Little bit about, I mentioned installment plans. We do offer different bundled packages if you are interested in starting the program. Stage 1, I mentioned there is a money back guarantee after that. But if the coursework is right for you, you have the opportunity to move into stages 2 and 3. There's a bundled discount at both of those stages. Stage 2, you would get a $700 discount off online, $800 off in person. And in stage 3, in the certification program, if you were bundling all 3 stages, your coursework would go from $6,500 in stage 3 to $5,750, which would give you another $750 discount, which is where we come up with that $1,450 bundled discount. The installment payments are an incredible opportunity. We started them back in April, and our students have been so grateful to have that opportunity to pretty much pay as they go with 0% financing. So again, something we could definitely speak to you in more detail about. There is a coach training bundle with just stages 1 and 2, which you see on the top right. And also there's a full certification bundle, which would include all 3 stages. So a couple of different opportunities to think about as you're considering Coactive. So this is an opportunity to bring Alex and Hope back on screen. And I want to make sure to leave a few minutes at the end because we have a survey we would really like you to take. But Alex and Hope, why don't you come back on screen as well? And let's take a look at the questions that Mercedes has left us in the Q&A. So it looks like so far there are two.
Okay.
The first one is, this was a quick session. How long does it typically take to unblock, or sometimes not, or not to get unblocked? And I'm going to look to both of you for this.
Yeah. Well, allow me to also translate this question into how long is in general a coaching session, and it varies. Some coaches have sessions of 30 minutes only, and we've seen very impactful things happening in 30 minutes. Other coaches take more time. I would say in general, a coaching session is between 45 and 60 minutes. And that is long enough to create new awareness for our clients about what they want, what they really want, or what choices they feel like making, or how they can look differently at something or someone. And at the same time, as mentioned before, we also believe in the ripple effect of coaching, that the impact of the coaching continues after that hour that we spend with our clients.
Yeah. So yeah, to just go to the specific about being blocked or unblocked, there's no given time it takes. Sometimes it can be just in a moment. The person goes, "Oh, I didn't even realize till I said that out loud." And other times they don't, they're still stuck, but they have some new tools or new ways to address it in between sessions. So it's not about are you blocked or not blocked. It's just, it's a process. It's a longer process over time. And so if they leave the session still stuck, as Alex said, they might still have they will have a new idea about how they might approach it, approach learning about it, or approach unblocking themselves. And so in some way we try to resolve what they said they wanted to get at the end of the session.
That's great. Yeah, Jessica, I'm going to take a stab at your question, and then I'm going to throw it to Hope and Alex as well. Jessica's asking to know more about opportunities for employment as a coach rather than operating my own business. What types of jobs are there? Who is hiring for them? I could use myself as an example here. I was working for an organization for quite a few years in HR and learning and development. And my company actually sent me to Coactive to become a coach, so that I could coach internally and help the company through organizational change, but also, bring coaching to the organization to build bench strength. So many companies are hiring consultants, contractors. There are opportunities now more than ever, because I think organizations really realize the benefit and how amazing it is to have people that actually can coach on staff. I'm going to pass it to you all from there, but that's just my personal, what I've experienced.
And thank you for sharing that, Sharon. And in addition, what we see more and more is that companies are specifically looking for people with coaching skills, a coaching attitude, even without being a coach in the company. It's a different way of communicating. It's a different way of partnering up with colleagues, with people in your team. And if you look at the coactive model, it's not called the coactive coaching model. It's called the coactive model as a way of how we can communicate with each other, how we can be in relationship with each other. So we see many people going through our courses, our coaching program, that do not actively want to have their own coaching practice or become an internal coach, but they want to add to their repertoire as an HR professional, as a manager, as a supervisor. Anyone in a leadership position can do with these coaching skills that we learn in our programs. Anything from your end, Hope?
Yeah, I think the other is that there are some companies, Sharon started to speak to this, that are hiring internal coaches as part of their ongoing staff. And we see that in financial planning and healthcare in particular. there's opportunity for people who coach people around their own health to also be hired by, like, I know there's some medical practices in my area that have coaches available now to their patients. So there's so many different kinds of opportunities. And then there are also a few organizations that just hire coaches and then they broker the coaches out into the business world. Like there's one called Better Up, and there are a couple of others. That's the only one I've really heard enough about to know their name. But so there are lots of different kinds of opportunities to be hired as a coach.
One more thing to add, specifically university schools,
Yes.
where coaching is a growing support for the students in these schools and universities. So that's another place to look.
Absolutely, yes. It's funny, that just hit me when I stopped talking and you said it. That's perfect.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to share one other snapshot here. Well, maybe I'm not going to share one other snapshot. There we go. If Mercedes and I and our sales advisors can support you at all, please visit us at Coactive. You can speak to an advisor. You can inquire by email. We'd certainly be happy to support you. Please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, etc. And I hope that if there's anything else we can service you with or assist, that we're here to help. And I want to take a minute to thank Hope and Alex and Mercedes for being part of the webinar today, and thank all of you for joining. Thanks so much. Bye-bye now.